This is Andrii Govorov, the world record holder in the 50-meter butterfly. His HydroWing butterfly progression is a series of steps designed to build feel and to perfect hand and arm position throughout the butterfly pull. As you watch this video and the drills, the arm pull is virtually identical to the slow motion progression he uses with HydroWing. It is broken down into steps for the press, catch, and pull. It uses light pressure and a buoyant HydroWing to build the feel of the proper technique in slow motion while using the HydroWing hydrodynamics to force proper technique.
So the next drill is the pinnacle of the butterfly balance and control of let's say sprinting pull. It's more for 1500 butterflies than 200 butterflies. And here we would rely a lot on freestyle kick and balance that pull towards the end of the stroke. That's, you let this board guide you, being on the borderline that is almost slipping, but you still press enough that it's not gonna fall. So you could actually have, you could catch seeing me accidentally lose the board, and it's completely fine. It's going to be part of your process. The ideal stroke of butterfly, for in my case, is just to have your arms parallel to your shoulders. You don't want to be too wide, you don't want to be too narrow. So you want to actually be neutral, like you're standing, and have this kind of your pinky going out of the board of the HydroWing. So that's ideal, my ideal size. We're all different, the shoulder wingspan and everything is different. You want to just have your arms straight, and that's where it should be. So now when we're moving to the butterfly exercise and similar adjustments, here we do catch and let it go. Now we have more strength with two arms, so we need to be more patient to let it float back. And then we just have a transition to the full stroke. And the key point here is to be as slow as possible underwater. That's the challenging part, without losing it, because now we don't have a pocket that allow you to float through the pocket. You need to still have your control with the surface of the board, keep pressuring it, and not letting it to float up. So that's the key point of that. We're gonna kick freestyle. We're gonna use two arms and try to balance between buoyancy and flotation and power that you produce towards the board. One of the mistakes you can actually get, that instead of pushing towards the stream of the water and the board, you're trying to change the angle. That's a mistake. You don't want to learn how to swim like that in butterfly. So ideally you keep neutral position in the board and you keep pressing it instead of trying to hold it, changing the angle of it.
In these two slow motion presses, watch the leading edge of the HydroWing and see the rotation downward to initiate the catch. Use fingertip pressure to create this motion.
Rushing to it too fast. So if you just muscle it up, it's easy to control. The key point here is to do it as slow as you can and actually let the HydroWing slip a little bit towards you and to reach this balance. Because of course, if you're just going to put brute force, it's never going to slip. But in case if you do it as slow as possible, that's when it starts challenging. So do not rush with the power. You don't need to use power right now. It's going to be time when we actually could use power. One of the most important parts of the drill is kicking. It's mandatory to have light and easy but steady kick that maintain your body line in the proper position. And you don't want to race, you don't want to challenge, but you actually want to have this support from your kicking point. giving this board the chance to slip will actually point your weak points and will allow you to understand where to press more or less, or where you should luck. It's fine to have mistakes, it's fine to be at somewhere. Have your coach to explain you this and try to help the self-consciousness as well to adjust.
One of those.
That's a progression. That's the third one. Is like you do one small, one slow, one push, one slow, one push.
Okay.
And then because you balance, you try to find the best position, and then you just use your power. Even now, with this force I produce, I actually can notice that I wasn't perfect in my stroke, so I got to certain triceps activations was not enough, and I kind of dropped the elbow, and that's completely fine. That thing can teach you and actually can point to some of your weak parts, and you could actually learn from it and perform better. Sometimes pushing too much would cause that difficulties because your body is not ready. And that's what I actually did now. I pushed too much, and it kind of allowed me to drop a little bit my elbows. And I need to adjust, I need to improve. Time to push less, execute better. That goal is the best way.
The pole here is virtually identical to the slow motion pole created while doing this HydroWing drill.